Today's episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal kit delivery service that makes cooking much more fun so you can focus on the entire experience and not just the final plate. All of this for less than $10 a meal. Visit HelloFresh.com and use the promo code SUCCESS30, that's SUCCESS30, to save $30 off your first week at HelloFresh. Again, use the promo code SUCCESS30 at checkout. Today's show is also brought to you by Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, the green juice, solves the problem of juicing greens on the go. Just add it to water or drink and let your body soak up the benefits. Visit Organifi.com, that's Organifi, Organifi.com, and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% off your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day, I am who I say I am, and I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles, you're not average. You're not even good, you were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
Hey, still truly Bajan. This is all good things must come to an end, though. This is it, the day before we head back, man. So what's happening?
And we can, that is not Carl's children screaming in the background. That would actually be his pet rooster he has.
Pet roosters.
And
Pet
Dr.
rooster.
Thomas.
The pet rooster, I love it.
Dr. Thomas, what's going on?
Oh man, I'm here in the laundry room of the hotel, man, getting up early this morning, 4 o'clock this morning, washing, man. It just, let me tell you something, see, real quick. I know you got probably the thought of the day, the fair file of the day, all the stuff for the day. But man, let me just say this, man, and tell the roosters I said what's up. They sound like they want to. They rising and grinding. See, man. Let me tell you something, bro. Like, I just want to encourage every single, entrepreneur out there. Everybody with a dream, with a goal. Man, see, I'm in the midst of it. Now, you always talk about the vending machine, and how we. Went in and did elementary, middle, whatever. But yesterday, man, I had the trifactor, bruh. I got up 7:45. I was able to greet the kids. And please go to our Instagram. There's a story with me and one little girl, Carl. She said to me, let's just say we connected on Tuesday. She saw me on Wednesday, ran like a half a mile, jumped into my arms and was like, you said you was going to come back. You said you was going to come back. And man, so I just had a ball with the K through 8, and then after that they had we what school district we in. They had a fish fry with grits. That was the I said
the grits.
The grits and the fish fry, bro, unbelievable. I'm like, where we are. So then I had a chance at 2 o'clock with that function to meet with the teachers. And then that evening, I met with the parents, man. It just felt so good, man. Like, this is what I always wanted. When we were doing the vending machines, we didn't necessarily say, like C said, we never said the NBA. We never said Major League Baseball. We never said Major League Soccer. We never said, corporate. We never said Australia. And look, we are appreciative of all of those things, but I'm back. Where I want to be. There were parents that was like, yo, we listened to the podcast. Can we get a pic? I mean, parents came out not only to the event, but to have, their kids take pictures with me. Yo, I'm just like, yo, we never gave up. We never gave in. I only have one pet peeve, Principal Ivory. I'm calling you out on my podcast. You getting called out. But she was tripping yesterday, like, it's too hot out here. It was 82 degrees. And we were outside, Carl, because you know, Carl, how it is. And I'm sure it's the same way in, in the island. But the school's not like Detroit, where you go in the building and you kind of just stay the whole day, like it's 2-3 levels. Here, it's they come out of one classroom. They got the open court. They've got the playground, you know what I'm saying? And they do a lot of their activities, you know, outdoors. And man, we just had a blast yesterday. And I'm just thinking like, yo, we never gave up. We never quit. You know what I'm saying? We kept doing this thing. And I went to go see a movie recently. It was somewhat of an autobiography of Winston Hill. It was at least a certain time frame, you know. And the one thing I loved about the movie is that, you know, Winston Churchill kept telling them like, yo, failure, you know, it depends on who you are. Like if you're gonna quit and you're gonna give up, that's failure. But he was saying like, yo, true success is not the absence of failure, but it's staying enthusiastic in the midst of failure. You know, and I just thought that was so deep because to me, that's one of the biggest challenges that most humans face is like when they get into a rough spot or you know, a rough place, you know, they don't have the same enthusiasm they had when they felt like, oh man, everything is going great. So we stuck in there, man, and just to be here in Disney, I'm like, yo, Disney was so smart. It's 82 degrees in February. I'm like, yeah, my man thought this whole thing through. You know what I'm saying? Not only did he buy, land, you know what I'm saying, but my man thought this whole thing through. You can literally be here all year long. I think maybe December, Christmas, January might be, you know, in the 40s, 50s, but yo, it was 82 degrees yesterday. They like outside frying fish, cooking grits. I'm like, this is unbelievable. So just excited, man. Just like, wow, our dream has become a reality. We're gonna be in Atlanta. One of the mayor's, associates hooked us up with a couple of schools. Like it's so easy now. See, I just like, yo, we're gonna be in a city, and they opening up the doors to us, man. And it just, man, it feels good. I ain't gonna lie. I've flown private. I've stayed, you know, in nice hotels. I've been to Dubai. Like I did a lot of stuff, but going to those schools and those kids know you. They watch your stuff on a regular basis. They use it for, you know, getting ready for tests, and they use it before their games. And when you walk in, they know who you are. They're listening. They're excited to see you the next day. It's like it's like if you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Yeah, so keep dreaming, y'all. Whatever you do, don't give up, y'all. You know, I always say, we all gonna go through pain regardless. You might as well get a reward for it.
Yeah, no doubt. And do you want to tell the people out there maybe who are teachers or administrators listening to the podcast how they can contact us through the School Days program and get you out to their school and be involved with the work we're doing with the program?
Look, guys, I would love to do that, but I have no clue. Carl's gonna have to help us out with that. I have absolutely no clue how you can get in contact.
I was about to be impressed.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no doubt. I was about to be impressed. I was like, oh, let me see if he got an answer. We created
I wish I could.
We created a direct email for you guys, info@schooldaysfoundation.org, that you can send. I'm talking about you just want to go learn about the program, schooldaysfoundation.org. If you just need to contact us, info@schooldaysfoundation.org. And yeah, just check. We need your help, guys. We need your help. Y'all know what we're trying to do here. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick, am I tripping or did the Patriots lose the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And I don't know about y'all, but we were in Miami. Shout out to everybody who came out to Miami for the Take Control. Just awesome session, man. We always have a great time down there at the W in South Beach. Is that where we're
Yes,
at?
sir.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
at the
sir.
W in Buckhead this weekend. Okay. Shout out to the W. Can we get a sponsorship? Anybody work at the W?
that's
We're
what I
back
said,
at the
yeah.
W. Great time on South Beach. But I watched the Super Bowl, man, and there was a couple things, and I want to talk about one first, and I want to play some audio for you guys. But the first thing that kind of stuck out to me was that you saw last year what happened when the Falcons lost to the Patriots. They kind of shut it down a little bit. Like they took their foot off the gas a tad. And I think what you saw with the Eagles was they kept going for it. They were like taking chances. It was fourth and whatever, and they would go for it. And I was like, wow, like if you're going to defeat the champs, if you're going to, be successful, like, yo, you got to keep your foot on the gas. And I think what he's talking about, you know, with us and what we've been able to accomplish, a lot of that has been because we've been able to keep our foot on the gas. I don't know what you guys saw or what you took away from the game, but that was my big thing. Like, yo, if you're going to defeat the champs, you got to go on offense. And a lot of times, like, I feel like as entrepreneurs, as business people, as just people in general, like we're scared to go on offense. Like we don't get the shot up. Like I can't tell you how many people that take control were just like, well, I'm ready, but I'm not ready, and I'm trying to get ready, and I'm like, man, why you sitting back there, you know, playing, somebody else shooting, somebody else going for it. And so that's one of the major themes I took away, man, is I just watched like, yo, if you're going to beat the champ, if you're going to be legendary, like, yo, you got to go for it. You know, 4th down, go for it. You know, and the Eagles did that. And I think that's the only way you could beat the champs. Like, they literally had the formula right in front of them. Like, okay, it is what it is. This is Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks, probably the greatest quarterback to ever play. If we're going to beat my man, we can't just have a good first quarter, second quarter. We got to come with it all game, man. And I watched them do their thing, man, and it was incredible to just see them go on offense like that and slay the dragon, if you will. So, I don't know what you took out of it, Carl. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but that was kind of my theme from watching it.
No, I was just going to say the piece that, and you said it, see, but the piece that stuck to me is they said that they had, was it Brett Favre that spoke to the Eagles before the game? I was reading the article, and his words to them were, don't forget last year. So I think that was a big advantage going in because it gave them that mindset of like, yo, you cannot afford to put your foot, take your foot off the gas. Like, so just being able to, we talk about studying the film and studying the game and all that, being able to watch and see what happened last year, you going into the game knowing now that like, yo, they can come back in the last doggone quarter. You know what I'm saying? They can come back. Like that's a reality. So this game is not over until it's over. Like I'm talking about, until them whistle blow, like we got to be up as much as we can. And like you said, see, you could see that they were playing with we saw last year. Like this ain't about to happen. We saw last year. So what we're gonna do is every single play, I'm like, it was literally no plays off. Every single play throughout that game, you could see the Eagles was just like, yo, it ain't happening.
Yeah, no, I was tripping. I was looking at that coach like, Carl, I'm looking at my man. I'm like, it's 4th down, like 3 yards to go on like the 50 with 5 minutes. I'm sitting there like, I'm knowing you need to beat the Dragon, and I'm saying, punt the ball. What are you doing? Boom, went for it and got it. And I'm like, yo, that's how you going to beat Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure that makes sense because I hate when we do sports stuff because we get so many people who write in like, oh, they're just talking about sports. I'm not talking about sports. I'm trying to make an analogy to life. Like, yo, you got to get out the blocks and you got to go for it. You got to shoot the rock. You got to put your product out there. That idea you got to drive it to the finish line. You got to keep going back to the table. You got to keep making adjustments. You got to keep, presenting it to the world. You got to keep showing up at the trade fair and putting your product on display. You got to keep trying to get funding. You got to keep going for it. And that was what the Eagles did, man. Like, yo, they kept throwing the ball. They ran reverse trick passes. They threw a pass to the quarterback. And it's like, I always tell my brother, I'm like, yo, if I go out, I'm going out blazing. Like, I'm not going out just like, punting the ball, running it up the middle for 2 yards. That's it. And like a lot of people, I believe, are going out and you're not even putting your best stuff out there. And it's a shame to see you go out like that when you're not even on full offense. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll get your thoughts, but.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm just sitting here, man, like, whew. Yeah, bro, I'm sitting here all listening to you guys. And I want to take it a step further for those people who are like, yo, I'm not into sports and I don't do, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I don't plan on watching the Super Bowl. I ain't even no entrepreneur. See, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking like, how much energy do people put, in dating? How much energy do people put in their, in that wedding day? How much energy do people put in that whole process? And then when they get married by the 3rd or 4th years, what you said, see, like they took their foot off the gas. You know what I'm saying? And you tripping about your marriage. Like, my marriage is not what I want it to be. You took your foot off the gas and you on bills. You know what I'm saying? Now you just on waking up in the morning and going to work and doing your routine. It ain't nothing wrong with your marriage. You took your foot off the gas. It ain't fun no more. One of the things I told the parents last night, I was like, yo, how many of y'all having game night? I ain't even go deep, see? I was just like, how many of y'all having game night with y'all babies? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's a good night for game day? They was like Friday, Saturday. I was like, yo, let's get back to game night. You know what I'm saying? And let's just sit down and talk. Talk about y'all future. Talk about, their grades. Talk about their family. Talk, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, we just need to sit down. And a lot of the parents was like, yo, you right. We done got so caught up with just life that we don't have time for just to sit down and talk no more. So, and I'm just gonna be transparent with you guys. The way I grew up, my parents, I'm just gonna be real, like they was on what they was on. It wasn't no adjustment making. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't on no, let's read this book and let this book, what is the word I'm looking for? See, like, when you're doing theory, they say let it guide your practice. My parents weren't reading no books, letting it guide their parenting. It was what it was. You know what I'm saying? But for me as a parent.
Belt on the shelf.
Oh, bro, I'm talking about belt on the shelf.
Belt on the shelf.
And that's how it's going down. And C knows because.
Let this belt be your guide.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But C knows, C and I had some conversations, just about me and Jay. And I had to put my foot on the gas. I had to go for it on 4th and down. Like, yo, I wouldn't normally do this as a parent. I wouldn't normally switch my game up. You know what I'm saying? But I got to switch my game right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying as a parent, you can't just you just can't chill as a parent. You got to switch it up. And you thinking in your mind, well, I'm paying for them to eat. They got a roof over their head, whatever, all the stuff that you're doing. But sometimes you got to go for it. And this is the one. So this is not my thing about the game, but the thing that to me that was like, yo, this is phenomenal. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. We right after Miami, we had to catch a flight to Tampa. But I saw the replay, and I think Brady missed a catch that should have been a touchdown. But then Philly turned around and did the same thing. I said, I love it. Philly turned around and was like, let's do the same play. So it say, remember I think it was a song, whatever you do, I can do better. No, you can't. Yes, I can. And so Philly was like, yo, I know y'all the Eagles, and I know y'all the Patriots, and y'all all of that, and a bag of chips, but we ain't scared. Like flat out, we ain't scared. And if we lose, like C said, we're going to lose fighting. Here's the thing that I loved, and I'm a fuel guy. I'm all about energy. I'm all about listening to motivational stuff in the morning, and I'm with Zig Ziglar. When people say, well, motivation, it don't last. A bath don't either, but you still, but you take one every day. Eating, what you ate 2 weeks ago don't last today. So don't try to play motivation. Don't try to play my craft. So with motivation, you just need it regularly. And so I'm into that. And so what I saw that the Eagles did, and I know most people caught it, but what they did was they started wearing that dog costume, and they let it be known to the whole world. We underdogs. Now, between you and I, see, we know the reality. You in the Super Bowl, you ain't that big of an underdog, you in the Super Bowl. Let's just be real. Yeah, you ain't that big of no underdog, you in the Super Bowl, right? You represent the NFC.
Well, at the same time, you playing against Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and 5-time world champion New England Patriots.
Absolutely.
And you ain't won a Super Bowl ever.
Yeah.
So they are underdogs now.
Now, let's say this, though. You talking about history and all of that. Absolutely. But I'm saying imano, pound for pound, man to man, it ain't really it's not that big of a gap. And I'm not saying there's not one, but what I'm telling y'all.
No, I'm saying, but Brady is Jordan, bro.
Oh, absolutely. So absolutely.
In the finals, you talking about playing Jordan, that ain't.
No, it's not necessarily
easy. Did you have them beating the Patriots?
No.
Absolutely
No,
not.
I definitely didn't. But I'm saying it's not necessarily. It's not.
Neither did I.
I'm not saying it was going to be easy, but I'm saying the cool thing about football.
No, I got you.
Yeah, football, and because you played. When you playing basketball, it's 5-on-5. It's a little easier to have that big of a landslide. When you playing football, bro, what I'm talking about, what is it? 11 guys out on that field. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's a lot easier. But what I like what they did was they saw that, and not only did they get the energy for the team, bro, they told the fans what to do. Everybody like rise up. Like they had I wish I had it in front of me, but it was like a 4 or 5 plan. Say Eagle War, say rise up, say this, say that, and I was like, yo, they took that energy, boy, and they took that underdog thing and they rolled that thing out. And so I'm saying, y'all heard CJ say that about us. We've gotten to a certain place, and I don't know how, I don't know how we do the underdog at the Ritz-Carlton, but I done found a way. You know what I'm saying? I done found a way to still be an underdog. See, I done found a way to wake up every day and not take what I have for granted. I found a way to get up.
You know what's so funny, E? I promise you the other day, Candace was like, I don't know how E like digs in and still finds that same hunger that he had like when he was homeless. She was like, I'm not, because Candace came from a tough upbringing too. And she was like, I'm not gonna lie, I done forgot all about that. She was like, I'm in a whole nother place. She was like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a good life and I don't plan on going back and I don't even feel what I felt back then. And I was like, wow. So I think that is interesting that while you at the Ritz with your robe and your sandals, that you still able to tap into that dog. And I think that's that's really, Carl, what makes E legendary. I think from a close-up view, what y'all see on TGIM, what y'all see on camera, what you see when you come to a conference, like, yo, E literally lives like that at all times. Like, if you're around E for 2 seconds, you probably would assume that he had $50 in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, because that's how he hustles and that's how he grinds. And I don't say that because he's on the phone or because, we're on the podcast. Like, E, you're literally able to tap into a space that most humans can't tap into. Because matter of fact, I had one that, it was either a sermon or something I had on in the truck. And Candace was just like, yo, why does he sound like he's still in that abandoned building while he's talking? like, yo, you talking about a millionaire, built this crazy company, one of the top in the world, and like, it sounds like he's speaking from that building. And I'm like, yeah, just an uncanny ability to tap into that pain and that hurt and to make it omnipresent in his life now is one of the things that I think, really, really makes you incredible at what you do, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, let me flip it and ask you a question, E. Let me ask you this. How much have you embraced this other side?
Oh, big time. Big time. You know what I'm saying? The Ritz-Carlton, he embraced it everything. You know what I'm saying?
But you get what I'm asking you? Like, how much
I'm
have you,
talking
like,
about full embrace. Vegan, he vegan. You can't be vegan when you broke. Wish you would try to be vegan. Eat an $8 orange. You must have lost your rabbit.
Organic.
You better get you a Big Mac meal.
I will say this though.
With a 2-liter joy.
What you know about the 2-liter, Carl? Oh, you done brought back some memories with the 2-liter.
Oh, Fago, a 2-liter Fago.
Unbelievable. I will say this though. I do not wear the robe and the slippers, see, so that helps. I never put.
Oh, Lord, my daughter's up. Y'all pray for me, Lord.
You can hear in the background.
Oh, I can hear her crying.
Just her. Hey, her and the chickens, we good.
Candace gonna kill you.
It's 5:30, bro. I'm like, go to sleep, baby girl.
Well, it's the roosters keeping her up. That's the problem. The roosters.
Apparently, we got one over here too. So my bad, Eve. I just heard her crying.
No, you good.
Go for it.
I was just saying, I never wear the slippers or the robe, Carl. That's how I stay. You know what I'm saying? That's how. That's how you stay. That's how I keep it.
Hey, do you drink the $12 water?
I don't drink the $12 water. Right. I do not drink the $12 water. No, but seriously, see, and I think, I don't know, man. To me, it's easy. It's if you decide to wake up every day, and be intentional and deliberate about, of course, embracing what you have, but also embracing the journey that got you there. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. It's kind of like, they just forget, with Dee Dee, people say to me all the time, like, yo, how do you keep that fire blazing? And it's like, yo, I literally wake up every day and remember when she used to give me her allowance. Like, I remember when she used to sneak me into the crib, in the winter, in the weekend when I didn't have anywhere to go. I just remember, when we first got married and she got the job first and got the insurance and she had the credit. Like, I never forget that. And I hear people who get separated, my man blow up, then all of a sudden he playing homegirl to the curve, because he making all his money now. And it's like, for me, I just try my hardest to remember, like, yo, E, you weren't always here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a time when you Man, Didi and I was talking last night, and I hate it. We're going to have to do a podcast later because she did that. Remember when? I was like, well, you're going to have to do it on the podcast because she be joking me. You're going to have to talk about that on the podcast. You know, but she just had one of those moments where she was like, yo, you remember when we didn't have? You know, we were at the Ritz-Carlton. She's like, yo, you remember when we stayed at those motels where, you know, it was an outside entrance, you know, and, you know, you were afraid, you know. She's like, you remember those days? And I was like, absolutely. Elizabethtown, Kentucky, we had to stay in the Motel 6 because the car broke down. That became our honeymoon. You know, we ended up staying there 2 or 3 days, going to Shoney's, you know, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? So I just, man, I just try not to get so caught up on, you know, where we are now, because let's be honest, even for us, let's just say we've been doing this for a little bit over 10 years. This hasn't been our experience all 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so we can't act like for the last 10, 11 years that we've been here.
It's still not me and Carl experience. You know what I'm saying?
I told you, Carl, don't let him take you there. Don't let him take you there, Carl.
We're still on the other side, boss.
I'm just going to be quiet. He's going into his comical role right now, but leave it alone.
Hold on, I want to play something, man. I got but so along those same lines, the quarterback Nick Foles, and I sent it to you. I don't know if y'all heard it, but I played again. The quarterback Nick Foles, shout out to him. He went to Michigan State for a year, so we'll claim him as a Spartan.
We'll take whatever.
Super Bowl winning QB. But after the game, he talked and he said something deep. So as it relates to going on offense, one of the things that, you know, came out, especially in Miami, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again in Atlanta, a lot of people were like, yo, I'm just scared to put it out because, like, what if it doesn't work? And the QB for the Eagles, for those of you who weren't paying close attention, wasn't a high draft pick per se, you know, and had been bouncing around the league. Matter of fact, I think he played for the Eagles, got cut, and came back, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, he took over, you know, with a couple games left when the star quarterback got hurt. So this is the backup quarterback. Shout out to my neighbor Brazil. He's from overseas. He's African. He came up to me and he said, I cannot believe the Patriots lost to the standby quarterback. I said, no doubt. Not the backup, the standby. Yeah.
I love it.
Man, Brazil said, I can't believe they lost to the standby.
I like that.
But the standby quarterback, he had something to say. And I thought it was deep, man. So I want to play it real quick and just get you guys' thoughts about it.
I think the big thing is don't be afraid to fail. I think, you know, in our society today, you know, Instagram, Twitter, it's a highlight reel. You know, it's all the good things. And then when you look at it, you know, you think like, wow, when you have a rough day, your life's not as good as that. Like, you know, you're failing. And I don't think, you know, failure is part of life. That's a part of building character and growing. Like, without failure, who would you be? I wouldn't be up here if I hadn't fallen thousands of times, made mistakes. You know, we all are human. We all have weaknesses. And I think throughout this, just being able to share that and be transparent. I know when I listen to people speak and they share their weaknesses, I'm listening because I can resonate. So I'm not perfect. I'm not Superman. Might be in the NFL and we might have just won the Super Bowl, but hey, we still have daily struggles. I still have daily struggles. So, but that's where my faith comes in. That's where my family comes in. And, you know, I think when you look at a struggle in your life, just know that, you know, that's just the opportunity for your character to grow. And that's really just been the message. It's simple. Like, if something's going on in your life and you're struggling, embrace it because you're growing.
Yeah, let's dissect that thing, man.
Unpack
but first,
that, yeah.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsors first, man. Oh man, HelloFresh is back, man. We appreciate HelloFresh for being a sponsor today. Listen, man, HelloFresh offers a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change weekly. There are 3 plans to choose from: classic, veggie, and family. All ingredients come pre-measured and handily labeled, so you know which ingredients go with which recipe. HelloFresh makes it easy to cook delicious, balanced dinners for less than $10 a meal, guys. Each week, there's a 20-minute meal on the classic menu for those of you who really don't have more time than that. Lots of one-pot recipes for seriously speedy cooking and minimal cleanup. Try things you never thought you could cook on your own and enjoy eating outside of your comfort zone, such as the Hall of Fame voted Juicy Lucy Burger with tomato, onion jam, and arugula salad. Listen, man, I tried it. Carl's tried it. E's tried it. We rock with the HelloFresh quite a bit. What do we just have, Carl?
Hey, the one I'll just say it like this: it's stuff that I'm eating I never heard of. The arugula, I don't know what arugula is, but we had this mushroom flatbread arugula thing, bruh. My son is a picky eater. When I tell you, my man smashed. And it's simple, bro. It took like 15, 20 minutes to make everything. Like everything, of course, you guys know it comes prepackaged. You can just open the box up and follow. I'm talking about step-by-step instructions with photos. So for those of you that's a little challenged in the kitchen, there's photos on that joint that tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah, no, you can't mess it up, man. That's
bruh.
the one thing I love about it. You can't mess it up. And the presentation ends up looking great. So, again, man, I told you guys about friends and family now that are trying to. Shout out to Dr. Downs, who was on the podcast, man. I saw him the other day looking slim and svelte. Man, he's doing his thing, lost 45, 50 pounds, man, just on the HelloFresh. It comes portioned nicely, so you don't even have to worry about portion size, things like that, man. So look, for $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code SUCCESS30, all right? $30 off. HelloFresh.com, SUCCESS30. So go rock with them and let us know how you like it. Send in your info and tell us, what's your favorite dish. All right. So I want to get back to what Nick Foles said there, E. And the first thing I think that caught me, what he said was, he said, man, we live in a highlight reel generation where you see everybody's best moments. And the crazy thing is you're stacking up your worst moments to people's best moments. And so he said, so you're seeing that as failure first and foremost. So we'll address that part of it before we go into the actual failure. But how much of, people and their self-esteem and their unwillingness to put stuff out, like we talked about, or go on offense has to do with the social media pressures, the fear of my stuff is not as good as their stuff. If I put this out, people aren't going to like it. The social media generation, if you will.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? There's a benchmark. And unfortunately, I don't particularly think, Instagram and, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, I don't think social media should be the benchmark, but in many regards, it has become that. And so I think we try to put it on the millennials. It's grown folk on Facebook. I ain't seen a lot of millennials on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to dismiss it and make it like a young person's problem, and it's not. I think it's a societal problem, period. TV, reality shows, et cetera. Everybody thinks that they all have to live this exact life. And maybe we could talk about this on the next one. I wanted to play at some point, our last TGIM, I listened to it myself. I feel uncomfortable listening to my stuff, but I did feel like very passionate when I talked about the hat, the shoes, the jeans. And it's not, the regalia that I'm on. Like, I'm not on necessarily like, the paraphernalia, like, my hat, my whatever. But what I'm trying to really get to see is this thing of like, I'm not going to feel bad no more. I'm not gonna allow people to trap me inside of this like world. I'm in the Ritz-Carlton, man. I'm telling you, bro. And give me the right words. It's like we don't want to call it peer pressure as adults, but let me just use that word because people understand it. Peer pressure. I'm walking through the Ritz-Carlton, Carl, with my flip-flops on. You know what I'm saying? I got my shorts on. I got my when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, and everybody in there. It seemed like it's like a happy hour all day at the Ritz-Carlton for some reason. I'm not sure what time it started, like if it started breakfast or not. But everybody's got the suit on, Of course, people are not really doing the tie these days. Everybody's got a glass of wine in their hand, and everybody's important, see? You know what I'm saying? I don't really know who these people are and what their real life is like, but you see this persona, see, where everybody's doing well, everybody's making money. And I'm walking through with my t-shirt on and people are looking at me and I try not to take it offensively. I try to say, you know, there's
What's the Uber driver doing in the hotel?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I try not to take it personal, but it's like everywhere I turn, it's the can I help you? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stay here every time I come, so no, you can't help me. You know, but it wasn't a can I help you, like, you know.
Are you lost?
Yeah,
sir?
yeah, right. That's the look. Like, are you lost? And I'm laughing because it's like I'm not mad. Trust me when I tell you, I love, you know, seeing you know, men dressed up, looking good, women, you know, with either the skirt suit or the pantsuit. I love it. But I'm laughing, see, because I'm saying like, yo, you have created this standard where it's like, that's how you have to look to be successful. Like, that's what success looks like. So maybe social media for kids, it looks one way, but it looks another way. And then you remember when we went to the W, they've got the Lamborghini sitting outside. They've got the Rolls Royce parked up front. I'm like, yo, why you take my man Ford Fusion and park it down the street like that? My man, he want to get to his car too. You feel what I'm saying? But all the Ford Fusions is parked, you know, down the street. But all the fresh rides is like when you come to the W, like all the fresh rides are right there with the rope, you know, whatever. And I'm just like, yo, see, I'm not mad at nobody, but I just want to be myself. And I don't want you to look down upon me because I don't want to be a part of the status quo. And look, I'm definitely not one. This is all God. This is all God's grace. But as I'm walking through, I'm like, yo, bro, you looking like money, but it don't mean you got money. And I'm not looking like money, and it don't mean I don't have no money. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm just laughing because you judging my bank account. You judging what I do professionally. And one of the bellsmen, he knows me, he follows me. He said to me when I got out the car, he was like, Dr. Thomas, it's good to have you back. Welcome back. And you can see people looking like Dr. Thomas. They didn't know, they should listen to the podcast.
Is that like
PhD.
Dr. Dre?
Yeah, hey, right. It's PhD and not, C always say, go see a doctor if you're sick. But I'm saying you can see people looking like, for real, like, what do you mean when you say doctor? And it's just like, wow, we live in a society where people are not comfortable in their own skin. And that's my problem, you know what I'm saying? So I know I went off a little bit, but just to his point, it's like, yeah, he felt comfortable saying, I have bad days. The NFL does not mean that my whole life is straight because I play in the league.
Yeah. No, I know. I think the one thing that I told you I worry about, and I'm glad y'all get the chance to navigate these waters, is you know, young people and their self-esteem. You know, they're coming up like, you know, and I guess in a way it's good, right? Because you can see the world and you can see a lot of things like the internet and all of that. You know, it allows us to expand our horizons, and, you know, things that weren't real can maybe be real to you now. But I think the one thing that maybe helped my self-esteem, and I have never even really thought about this, so it's up for debate or argument, was the fact that pretty much everybody I went to school with, you know, we had a similar upbringing, right? We were all from, you know, Lansing. A lot of our parents worked at the shop. You know, we kind of had the same amount of money. We kind of wore the same clothes. We kind of had the same, you know, whatever. So there wasn't this measuring stick. Now, I'm not going to tell you there wasn't, like, you know, levels in terms of who was popular and all of that. But, like, we didn't have access to, like, seeing kids with, like, Hermes backpacks and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have that. And so that's not what we were looking at as, like, success, or that wasn't the measuring stick, or we didn't have, like, you know, the Kardashian family to, you know what I'm saying, like, look at and be like, oh, wow. Like, you know, and I don't know how we would have responded in that situation, but I think I was always pretty confident, and because I never really felt inferior. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have anything to, like, measure myself against that was fake, that would have me like, oh man, I can't believe, you know, like, even from a sports perspective, like, I was the best in the city. You couldn't have told me I wasn't the best in the world. So I moved like it. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't have YouTube. I ain't know it was a dude down in Florida that probably kicked my butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was the dogs too. And so I think now, man, you know, with the Instagram and that whole thing, it's like, man, you seeing people living like different. Like, you know, we didn't see anybody with $1 million home. Like, we just didn't see it. We didn't see anybody, you know, with a Lamborghini. I didn't see a Lamborghini in person probably till I was grown. And so now, though, even for grown people, like, you looking on Facebook and you see somebody just bought a new house, right? You see somebody just got a new car, or they always look like they're on vacation, and you sitting there looking at it going, wow, and you start to feel inferior, not knowing that, you know, your destiny and what God has for you is for you. Your path is for you. But if you use that measuring stick and you start looking at other people's highlight reel again, you not knowing that they low light reel is the same low light reel you got.
Yeah,
But the highlight reel looks so crazy. Their marriage looks so good. And I'm saying maybe it is, but I'm saying maybe it's not. You're only seeing the best of the best, and you're stacking it up against your worst days. And I think that was a great point that he made. And, you know, even as grown people, if you're not careful, you can get sucked into that matrix. You know what I mean?
I tell people this all the time. See, bruh, I refuse to, and I'm saying right now, I mean, things could change. I don't know, you know, but I refuse to leave a good community, good neighbors, you know, for the sake of, and I tease some of my friends who have purchased these, you know, $2-3 million homes, you know, and again, they know I love them, but I tease them and I say, some of y'all bought these $3 million homes for those 20 days, see, that you can have somebody come through and walk through and go, ah. You know what I'm saying? So you just spent all that money for those 20 days out of the year, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or whenever you invite your friends over to Super Bowl, and they can all say, so-and-so house is huge. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna sacrifice those 20, 30 days, you know, for the other 330 something days. You know what I'm saying? That nobody's ever coming to my house. You know, so I don't have this esteem issue where I need you to come and then tell everybody that we know ET got this big crib. Like, I'm not interested. Like C said, maybe that was because we grew up in Detroit. Maybe because we grew up in the automotive industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense though, right? Like, some of the stuff they saying, I didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Like, I didn't even remotely compare myself to that.
No, and I'm saying just because of the way we grew up, see, I still don't. You feel me? I still think, like, for real, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I walk in my crib and see the high ceilings, it might only be like 30 feet of high ceilings, but that's sucker high for 30 feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the little small kitchen. Like, that's all me and D need. And so I don't have this need, see, and I'm telling you, bro, I ain't mad at nobody. Like, I look at Inky crib, I'm so grateful for Inky, bro. I look at how big his, bro, Inky's spot is huge, bro, but Inky was blessed at a time where he got it and his kids are still young. Whereas, you know, when I started really making bread, Jalen was in high school, and you ain't trying to uproot nobody from high school. Like, it's like, that's your friends, that's your community. So I'm not trying to uproot you and put you in a sweet neighborhood, and now you got to start your whole life over again. So to me, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't worth it. But just back to your point, see, Didi and I are not getting on YouTube, we're not getting on Instagram, we're not getting on Facebook and looking at our friends and go, what do they have versus what we have? Like, yo, we are literally enjoying our lives. And what we're comparing ourselves to, see, we're comparing 2018 to 2008. To 1998. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we're comparing our life to. So I'm not comparing my life to the other motivational speakers that do what I do. I'm not comparing my life to the people that I went to college with and what are they doing or what they're not doing. I'm not comparing.
And I'm saying, what are you comparing to though? You know what I'm saying? Like, when I say, like, what are you comparing? I'm saying, like you said, are we comparing houses? Or are we comparing happiness?
Right. Yeah, I'm comparing happiness, bro.
Your marriage.
Yeah, I'm comparing my marriage and family.
Everything we do in life is to ultimately be happy, right? So, you know, the clothes you pick out every day, the car you drive, the house you live in, like what you end up eating, like those things. Like, every day we all make a collective amount of decisions in order to be happy. And so I think there are some people who think, you know, having those things and collecting those things will produce happiness. Well, we know that's not necessarily the case. And I used to hate it. Like, when people would talk about getting money and like, money is not the key to happiness. I'm like, yes, tell that to somebody broke. But, you know, at the same time, you know, there is something to be said for, money or things in general is not what's going to make you happy. Now, if you already happy, could a new, like, Lamborghini make you happier? Probably so. But that in and of itself is not what's going to make you happy. And I think, people got to find happiness within themselves. Like, I got a homegirl who, like, she's not married and she wants to be married. She doesn't have a man. And I'm telling her, like, yo, you don't get to be like half a person and then you meet a half a dude and y'all make one whole.
Right,
That's not
right,
how it works.
right.
You got to be whole first and then find somebody, and then the two wholes shall become one. And I'm like, but I think people think adding this accessory, adding this thing is what's going to produce the happiness, and it's not. The other thing, real quick, before we dive into Ask ET, is just
let's
the
not get off of
failure
this, though.
behind.
Yeah,
Say what?
I'm just saying, let's not move past this too fast. Go for it, but I want to come back and make a
Oh,
statement.
no. I'll save it. Go for it.
So, I've had to have this conversation with my wife, and she would kill me if she heard me say this, but she don't listen to the podcast. So hopefully her little cousins that listen, you're not gonna share this with her, but what we're talking about, definitely my wife is all about that. See, happiness, the family, our quality of living, our character, who we say we are versus what we do. But I will say this, and I've had to help Dee Dee because, she may have gotten caught up in the past, with, comparing in terms of like, we went to college, so you got, she like, how much weight did I pick up since, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so there was times where I would have to just like, kind of encourage her, and I say this, because we have to be careful in society. Like the thing that I tell my kids, be careful about comparison, is only because it's not a bedrock. See, it's not stable. You know what I'm saying? What Louis might be in today, Michael Kors might be in tomorrow. What's the other one? Versace. You just got to be careful, see, because it's not like, it's like a moving target. And it's kind of difficult, to catch a moving target, And so I remember when my wife, after, Jada, it might have been a couple years, she might have been like, well, I want to lose my butt. And I used to have to tell my wife, I'm like, yo, you got to be careful because, I'm like I said, I'm just keeping it 100. The thing that you're trying to lose, they paying for it now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? You got actors, you talk about the Kardashians, you got Nicki Minaj, you got people who don't have, hips and a butt, who paying for it now. They paying, Miami getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in Miami, I'm looking like, yo, when I was growing up, I'm not trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to stop watching or listen to the podcast. But when I was growing up, I don't remember everybody having this. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember everybody, all over the world being shaped like this. But now everybody, you got the, the Brazilian butt exercise program. They spending thousands of dollars. You got plastic surgeons that's I'm talking about they making a living, see? You got the entertainment industry. And so I just remember telling my girl, like, yo, you tripping on, you trying to lose. People, they paying for what you got. What you have naturally, people trying to pay for that. You feel me? So be very cautious about comparing. I'm just being 100. Like be very. I remember thin lips was in. Then now people paying to get bigger lips. You know what I'm saying? We were at the event and I asked homegirl because I looked at her. She's a bodybuilder. I looked at her and then I looked at her picture and I was like, yo, this look different. What I was just being 100. I was like, talk to me. She's like, oh, what we do in competition is we tan ourselves. You feel me? So sometimes, see, color, there have been times where color wasn't cute.
Oh, yeah. No, you never know what's going to come.
You feel
that's
me?
why I didn't get the six-pack, because I knew the dad bod was coming back.
It was coming back,
I just
see?
wanted to be ready when the dad bod came back. Leonardo DiCaprio that made the dad bod sexy. We good.
Sexy. So,
we eating.
You feel
Let's
me?
eat, gentlemen.
I'm just saying, so see, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, yo, you got to be cautious, bro. It's a moving target. And when you put me on that bedrock, I've been sending it to a couple people and they've been hitting me back like, yo, E. And I'm talking about some people who going through some different challenges and they like, yo, E, 3 times a day, E, 3 times a day, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, if you're going to compare yourself to something, just make sure it's a bedrock. Just make sure it ain't going to move in 2020. Just make sure it ain't gonna move in 2019. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't it be dope if you won a Super Bowl and you didn't have to worry about relationships after that?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah.
so you think you got money. Okay, cool. Money taken care of. But you still got so many. He said it. He's like, yo, Super Bowl or not, we still live in real life. It's still drama, whatever is going on. So I'm saying it would be a whole different conversation if you bought a Lamborghini or the house or whatever and the other stuff was not, oh, cool, that's taken care of. But dude, that's one aspect. Sorry, I'm not even okay. Super Bowl, cool, go down in history, but y'all into sports a lot. How many athletes do we know that were there that now, you know what I mean? The TOs, the Allen Iversons, that I'm talking about like you, okay, we know your name, we know some highlight reels of you, but you got nothing going on for you right now. Like just being real. So if it was just only about that, like he said, the highlight reel, dude, like, okay, cool. It was one day, you know what I'm saying? A couple hours of a day. Let's just be real. Okay, cool. We'll talk about your history, but that has nothing to do with your day-to-day life. You still got to get up tomorrow and get some stuff done. There's still, you know what I'm saying? Somebody mama got some illness, you know what I'm saying? If sickness was gone, you win a Super Bowl and ain't nobody in your family got sick no more. Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
I'll be in the Super Bowl next year, I promise. I'll work out from now until
bro,
next
I
Super Bowl.
promise.
I'll be in it. Nobody in my family getting sick no more, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still got to deal with real issues.
Yeah.
There's nothing I'll share this real quick. We were walking through a store yesterday, and my mom, y'all know my parents into education. My mom was looking at all these are the books that we used to have to buy in school. And I was looking at this one book and I was like, yo, I remember this book. This comprehension book. They got all these little Caribbean stories in there. You got to answer the questions. And Tamisha leaned over and said, oh, you had the book? And I was like, what you mean? She's like, let me just say it like this. She's like, I want to buy the book now just because I feel like I could. Like, she's like, yo, we couldn't have these books. She's like, if my sister didn't have it, I ain't have it. Like, we didn't have this stuff. So I'm sitting like, wow, like she just wants to buy the book now. The book costs probably about 10, 20 bucks. I don't even know how much. It wasn't real. But she's in the place now where she's looking at the book like, yo, I want to buy it now. Just to what you say, what am I comparing myself to? I want to compare to where I was 20 years ago. Like I can buy the book now. I don't have no doggone need for the book. But I want to buy it now just because, like, yo, 20 years ago, this was not possible. So at the end of the day, I want to compare myself to where I was. I want to compare myself to where my family was. I want to compare to my last generation. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still, like I say, you still gonna get sick. You still gonna need water. You still gonna have to go to the toilet. Like nothing else. Like you still got to do all of that.
And you still gonna need Organifi. All right. This segment is brought to you by Organifi. So here's the deal. To truly thrive in all areas of your life, you cannot ignore the importance of good health. All right, I've learned that firsthand, and for many of us, time is our most valuable asset. This is why I love Organifi green juice, an organic superfood green juice powder. You just add water, right, and get your greens anywhere, anytime. You have to invest in your health. You gain more time because you gain more energy, all right? The best thing about Organifi green juice is it actually tastes good. For all our listeners, we have a special deal so you can try it yourself. Use the code SUCCESS at www.organifi.com to receive 20% off your order. Again, the promo code is SUCCESS, and that's Organifi, ORGANIFI. All right, go check that out. Let's jump into
give me one quick second. Give me one. Well, hold on. Let me say this. I got a quick Farrah for the Organifi segment.
Oh, okay.
A quick Farrah. So my wife gives me a hug yesterday, and she's not feeling well. She caught a little cold here. So she proceeds to ask me, like, yo, can I kiss you? What do you do? Farrah, what do you do?
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh.
If it's me, I have to speak, and there's a lot of people counting on me. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to table that because I can't afford.
Ain't nobody
to get
counting
sick right
on
now.
you though.
Yeah. So just go ahead and chill out. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Hey, so my answer. Oh, so go ahead, see. I'll come back.
I'm going foul. Flat out. No, I'm just saying I'm going foul. Flat out. I can't. We got stuff to do.
Hey, my answer to her was, hold on, let me get some Organifi first.
Let me get some
Organifi first, and I got you. We good.
No question. So see, I got a question for you.
Let me tell you something. My girl ain't trying to kiss me because she know I only get sick, like have a little cold about once a year, and when I do, it's hell for her. So she's like, you better not. I'm talking about like I got the straight flu.
No, that's right. I got a quick question though for you,
quick,
see.
E.
Yeah, I got a question for you, see. Carl can answer it if you like.
Like both my kids, yo, I promise you, man.
Are they
my
both
kids,
up?
They off the chain. Both of them up.
Hey,
Here come Trey out here.
Hey,
Trey
so
running around 6 o'clock in the morning.
You got to answer this question though for me, see why you got him. All right, Carl, you got to answer this because we're talking about failure. You got to answer this for me.
Move closer to the phone. Yeah,
I'm sorry. All right, so you got to answer this one for me, guys. You got to answer this one. So I can't say names because this person works for us, right? And it's cultural. So we talk about failure, and it's something, I don't know what it is. C talked about Instagram, all that, Facebook, social media, and I just want to know, like, does it come from a different place? So this individual made an error, and it was obvious that they made an error, and they tried to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? When I say cover up, not nothing deep to cover up, but just didn't. They just didn't own it. You know what I'm saying? What is the challenge? Like, what? Okay, I get it that you fail, but what is it about failure? Like, because if we do something good, we want everybody to know we did it. What is it? What is it when we mess up that we just can't say, like, yo, for real? Like, this would have been an easy, like, yo, I forgot. I didn't, oh yeah, it slipped my mind. I'm just being real. Like, something happened to me. I'm just gonna tell y'all. See, Carl, talking about something. Do you know the name of the where they can go for school days? I ain't even gonna play like I know what it is. Like, I'm human. It's like what my man said. I'm human, bro. Like, I'm not tripping on the fact that I was made as one of the models that don't remember everything. Like, I'm okay with that, and that I don't know everything. But I was just tripping on them because it wasn't deep. It was just like an email didn't shoot the email. The information wasn't whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was simple. But they even lied about, the whole thing just to cover. And I'm just like, I just want to know, like, why do we have such a evil, like, negative relationship with failure?
Let me take a crack at it. I think it may be twofold. One, I think it may be an esteem issue in terms of your value is wrapped up in this particular event. Like, if you're already down, you can't afford to take in your eyes what you think is a loss, right? Like, you don't have the esteem. Like, yourself, myself, we may be confident enough in other areas where, like, when I messed up the shirts, I could just be like, yo, here's what it is. It's a wrap. I messed it up. My bad. Because I know the value I bring in other areas. So I think that may be one of them. The other thing I think may be happening is bad programming, right? And that's what I'm trying to not do with my kids, right? Like, I'm trying not to overcorrect Trey to where I'm on your head about every mistake. Like, I tell you to sit down, you don't sit down, you spill the milk, and I'm like busting your head for spilling milk. It's like, I don't want you to be gun shy in terms of every time I make a mistake, it's the end of the world, right? And so I think bad programming can be another one of those things that puts us into that space where a mistake is no longer a mistake. A mistake is a reflection of our character. It's a reflection of our aptitude. It's a reflection of who we are as a person. And so I think between those two things is one of the reasons why people would see a failure. Like, you've had enough wins to where if you had a bad day, if you had a bad speech, it's not necessarily going to tear you down, right? Because you had 1,000 great ones before that. But to somebody who's been rocky, their whole career, a bad speech could be the tipping point that ends up being like, all right, cool, I failed too many times and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So I think one of those two things is probably going on when that happens.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I want to go a different approach to you, see, and I'm trying to formulate my thoughts. But the reality is, I think it starts with a lot of, and I can't go way too far. See, it's Tamisha always says it's what you grew up. Like, you want to know somebody and understand them. It's what you grew up with. It's how you grew up. It's all back to that programming. Like, that's the reality of it. Like, there are things that happen in your childhood. There are things, there's not to go here, but the abandonment. There's stuff that comes in that ties into that unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was this book I was reading? It's talking about your conscious and your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is like, yo, I'm about to get up now. I'm about to go do this. But there's a program that's running behind that in your subconscious mind that's like, you're not processing this, but like, yo, if I said this person might take it this way and it could affect the relationship because this will happen to my dad and I. This will happen to my brother and I. This will happen. So it's like some subconscious programming, that could be, that could be playing in the background that it makes it deeper than what it is because you have a history of all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just this moment it is for the other people around you. Oh, you messed up this moment. But in your mind, you're again, back to comparing, but you're matching it up to other things, other people. There's a whole lot in your subconscious mind that's playing that you're not necessarily, conscious of. So it's an issue. I mean, like I said, back to what C said, it's an issue of programming and realizing, number one, you're still breathing. And that's my thing now. Like, yo, you're still breathing. Vicky always, I asked Vicky, she gets on our Sunday BU calls, and she says the temperature is like -20, -29. And I'm like, Vicky, how do you do it? And Vicky said she literally will drive up to a cemetery and just sit out there for a moment and just think about what she's complaining about. She said she will physically drive to a cemetery and just look, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's cold, but I am breathing. So I'm just saying, perspective, you were breathing, it ain't nobody died from it, you all right. We can figure out how to figure this out and move on. So I just think it's just a matter of reprogramming and getting that focus of like, yo, it is bad, whatever it is, it could be bad, but it's not to death. Like it ain't gonna tear nothing up. You know what I mean? We can survive whatever it is. People survive all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We can get past it.
Yeah, reprogram. So yeah, I would just suggest then for those of you who are having that struggle in anything, reprogram, because that's what happened with my father. It's like when I dealt with that, that's what I was doing, reprogramming. I heard TJ, man, I wish we would have recorded it, but TJ was just saying how, his brother, did very well academically, and he, of course, did very well in sports, and he didn't make it to the league, and he found himself, because he wasn't in the league, and he no longer was able to get the validation from tackling and scoring touchdowns, that he found himself being and I hope this makes sense, but affirmation junkie, and he said, he would be, doing stuff around his father, like, Dad, I did this and did this and did that. And he was like, yo, his wife was like, yo, I don't know if you see what you're doing, but when you get around your father or your brother, it's this thing where you're trying to, and they love you for who you are. And he was like, yo, he had to really stop. He said it had become so subconscious, Carl. It becomes so subconscious that he never even knew he was doing it. But it was almost like, shoot, well, my brother is still, because he was academics, he's still shining. You know what I'm saying? He didn't take a job as an engineer, he's still shining. Whereas that thing that I used to get affirmation from, I'm no longer doing that. You feel me? That's no longer a reality for me. So how do I get that affirmation? And so he just said he had to be real, one, about the fact that he had the problem. And then two, he had to start saying, okay, how do I address this? How am I aware of it? And then what do I do to overcome it? And when I heard him say that yesterday, I just thought that was so deep. Because my man got 4% body fat. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like you look at him physically.
What an accomplishment.
You know what I'm saying? You look at my man physically, and it's just like, yo. And even when he speaks or does this thing, you don't look at him like whatever, But he was like, yo, it's a problem that I had to deal with. He said, this is why I'm dealing with it, because my sons would see how I would act around my father. And my sons would see how I would act around my brother. And subconsciously, they picking up on it. So I had to overcome it. And he was like, I'm being real. Since I've overcome that, as a speaker, I've seen myself get better because now I'm in my lane and I know who I am and I'm comfortable. So yeah, I'm just saying, for those of you out there who keep going in circles and you're not getting past certain things, like, yo, just deal with the fact that you need to reprogram, and don't feel bad about it. I'm not saying all of us had to be reprogrammed, but I'm telling y'all, I wish y'all could come to some of these conferences. Yo, I'm sick, y'all. Like, yo, I've been through the ringer. Like, yo, I don't know if you know what it's like to find out at 12 or 13 that this person ain't your father. Like, that ain't no easy thing to deal with. I don't know if you know what it's like living in abandoned buildings. Like, it sounds cute to you that I say it, but like, yo, I was literally in abandoned buildings, scared for my life. I'm knowing dope dealers seeing me going in and out this house. I know junkies seeing me going in and out of this house. I know they see me. You know what I'm saying? But I still have to make a choice. Like, I can't stay outside. I gotta go inside. So it's just a lot of stuff that I've been through, and I'm sick. And every day when I wake up, I don't let being one of the number one motivational speakers in the world cloud my reality. My reality is I went to counseling as a kid. I went to a counseling, at 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through it. But every day I wake up, I'm like, yo, I don't care what happened to you. Like, this is the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your day, and you got to get through that stuff. You can't let that stuff mess up your marriage. You can't lose your wife over your past. You can't mess up your relationship with your kids over your past. Your past is what it is, and it can't destroy you or define you, but it can set you up for a phenomenal, destiny. So I just want to encourage y'all, like, don't look at yourself like, oh, I'm not the best model. I just got an iPhone 10. And is it just me, guys? But as Apple is getting sweeter, each phone still got its own doggone problems. I have not bought an Apple phone yet that didn't give me some type of problem. But I will say this, each phone, some functionality has improved, but it still has its challenges. So don't look at failure as a bad thing, please.
Yep. Hey, E.T., this is from Shana in New Jersey. Hey, E.T., thank you so much for all you do. I have a question for you regarding my mother. We have recently repaired our somewhat rocky relationship, but now she's back in my life and trying to make decisions for me. I'm 24 years old. I work, I have a child, and I can take care of myself, but she still always wants to give her input. How do I tell her to back off without damaging our relationship again?
You tell her the truth, but do me a huge favor. Look at it from your mother's perspective. My son is 22 years old. Nobody ever gave me the book, the manual, and told me at 18, back off. So even though he's 22 years old, probably about 6'3", about 200 something pounds, I still remember him in the hospital room when he came out his mother's womb. That's who I know. I don't know this 6 foot something dude. I don't know him. I know the kid that traveled across the country with me. I know the kid that I was supposed to make sure ate, that went to college, that when he bumped his knee and hurt himself, I was there to pick him up. I was at his football game, when he got a fumbled return for a touchdown, or when he broke his femur. Like, I was there for him. So don't disrespect your mom. Like, she's not trying to hurt you, or she's not trying to take over your life. You're her baby, and you're gonna always be her baby. And you just need to let her know, your mom, regardless of what we've been through, we back. I'm your baby. I know I'm gonna be your baby forever. I am so grateful that you would even want me to be your baby. But Mom, let's work this thing out. I'm an adult, and the only way I can do adult is to make decisions. And I'm gonna mess up, and I'm gonna do well, but this is the only way I can be an adult. So Ma, if you can, let's talk it through, but give me some space to be an adult, and then I'm gonna give you some space sometime to be a parent. But look, don't be so selfish that you're only looking at it from your own lens. Look at it from your parents' lens. And again, nobody gave us the manual and told us when to back off, but they sure did give us the manual to say, put your foot on it. Like when we first had y'all, we had our foot on the gas. We was all in, and we just don't know when to back off. And that's all of us, so even with me and C's had to say to me, like, yo, E, back off. Yo, E, do this and do that. And I respect it, but I'm just being real. I never woke up one day and got the memo that it's time to back off. I never got that memo.
Yeah. Nathan said, E.T., saw you in the airport the other day and wanted to take a pic, but you were on the phone and I got nervous. What's the proper etiquette when asking for a pic so I know next time?
I'm going to always be on the phone.
Offense.
I'm going to always be on the phone. Yeah, I'm going to always be on the phone. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm going to always be on the phone. You know what I'm saying, Carl? I'm going to always be on the phone. Yeah, it's so funny with Didi. I tell Didi sometimes, Didi will interrupt me, and I'll be like, yo, D. She's like, why you pissed? I'm like, because I was on the phone. She was like, okay, what you want me to do? I said, I want you to wait till I get out the phone. She's like, well, then I would never talk to you. You know what I'm saying? You always on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So, little man, just go beast mode, take a pic with me, and then we good to go. Now, with some other people that you may look up to, I don't know. Everybody's not the same. But for me, yeah, just tell me, get off the phone, take a quick pic, and I can get back on the phone.
Iman in London said, when are you guys coming back to the UK? We miss you over here, hopefully soon. Julie in Sacramento said, E.T., thank you for everything. You've changed my life, and one day I'll repay you. My question is this. My parents paid a lot of money for me to go through school. The plan the entire time has been for me to finish and go to med school. However, I don't think I want to go to med school anymore. My parents will be crushed when I tell them this because they are so excited about me becoming a doctor. I don't know what to do. Would love your advice on this.
You might want to ask Carl. My parents didn't have no academic aspirations for me.
Aspirations. You know what I'm saying?
None. Yeah, so I'm sorry.
In short, I'll just say, make sure, I'm not tripping on you not doing that, but I'm saying make sure you got a real solid plan. Because like he said, they got you as a kid and they're like, yo, I want to give you the best life. They don't have no ill intent. But, if you just want to go goof off for a year or something like that, that's not a real good conversation. But if you have a plan, it still ain't going to be a great conversation because they, you know what I'm saying, they got this thing mapped out. It's never going to be a good conversation.
Make sure you got a better plan than what we had to tell our parents that we about to start doing YouTube videos.
Right, that's it. That's the answer. Make sure you got something planned out. Not my mom look at me like, what? Oh, okay. All right, let's see how long that lasts. But yeah, no, just make sure you got a plan. But I'm saying if it's if you're serious about this is your heart and it's something that you're not happy about after experiencing it, not just because you don't think you like it. I'm saying give it a shot maybe. But if you know in your heart that it's not for you, then yeah, don't wait 20 years and then talk about you unhappy.
All right, last one. Winston said, "What's up, ET? Few questions. How's the vegan diet going? I'm thinking of starting. Any suggestions for beginners, and also how do you feel since you started it?"
Yeah, well, I would say, first of all, if you don't have a chronic illness, I wouldn't suggest it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not, you guys have to understand. I decided to do the vegan diet, you know what I'm saying, as a tester, you know what I'm saying. My wife's a foodie, and so when you are not healthy, there are certain things that, you need to be, you need to be mindful of in your diet. Let me just put it like that. You have to help your diet. Your diet has to help, your health. So that's number one. I would suggest that maybe you look at whatever you're trying to accomplish. Like if you're trying to accomplish losing weight, you should probably look at like some other stuff, like not eating fatty foods or something like that. I don't know, but what's up, boy? How you feeling, Trey?
What up, Trey?
Trey. Yeah, so I wouldn't suggest that. I would suggest that, you do look at your diet and you do put some more exercise in it, Carl, but I wouldn't suggest it. How do I feel? I will be honest with you. I feel great. How does the diet going? It just depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't really, I think one time we were in Houston and I went by a Jamaican restaurant and got some chicken. So I really haven't had like chicken or beef or pork probably, in at least 8 months or so. So I don't really, I don't miss meat like that, but depending on where I am, there are times I have to do vegetarian, because vegan isn't an option, in certain places, but I think I feel good, but I can't lie to you and tell you it's just a diet. Thanks to Sean, I do an hour, like a mountain climbing regimen on the treadmill, and then I do 30-minute run every day. So I'm sure that has something to do with it as well. And I'm getting 20,000 steps in a day. So it's a combination. And then I'm in a great place in terms of my wealth. I'm in a great space with my wife in terms of our relationship, great place with my kids. So all of those things factor into how I'm feeling. I don't think diet by itself, the fact that I don't eat pork, I don't think that's the one thing. You know what I'm saying, Carl? It's not the one thing. That's a book talking about, your career. I think it's a variety, a myriad of things that have me. The company's doing well. I'm in the school. So I don't think it's one thing. I don't think it's the vegan boy. I think it's a lot. But I would tell you, be cautious. Diet is critical, bro. There's certain nutrients you have to get in your body. There's certain supplements you have to get in your body. And so don't just listen to the podcast, eat when vegan, and you're going to go vegan. Make sure you do your homework and make sure you're doing something that's going to be advantageous for your health, and not, like C said, you're following people on social media and they doing it and you doing it because they're doing it.
Yep, and why don't you get in the community while you at it? And I got the perfect one for you, breatheuniversity.com. Come join us. Man, you talking about it, the triple double. Come to Breathe You, man. We got Sean, who just put some new courses in BU. Just some great courses to help you with your physical fitness, your diet, all of those things. We got a call tonight. It's Thursday, so we got a 6 o'clock call tonight, man, where we'll be on the phone getting after it with the business call. So there's your wealth.
Rob Wilson.
And then wellness call on Sunday, man. He's doing his wellness calls on Sunday. Just incredible information.
Rob Wilson,
with people who trying to go to the next level. We would love to have you. You hear us talk about it. You guys have heard us talk about this since day one on the podcast. But breatheuniversity.com, man. Sign up. Come join us. It's not expensive. We purposely made it affordable for every single person out there. If you're listening to this podcast, it probably means you got a phone. If you got a phone, you can afford to get in this program with us. and just take your life to the next level and be around some people who going to sharpen you, man. Iron sharpens iron, so too the one man sharpen another. And so we would love to have you in this. Go for it, E. What was you about to say?
I was just saying, shout out to Rob as well. See, I promise you, I wasn't. There's just some things I wasn't doing financially. I'm just being real, man. There's just some stuff I wasn't doing, and Rob has sat me down, talked to me. I've pulled up my portfolio. I've made some transitions that I never made before, and I'm telling you, man, he's got me on, just like the Shine has me on a health regimen. Hey, oh, Carl, did you see? I went to the sports science thing. They did the, I got to show y'all when y'all get home. I got to show y'all when you get home. I had like 162, it was 162 something in terms of muscle mass versus fat. Didn't have a whole lot of fat. I was geeked about that, but I did see a lot of yellow around my gut area. I'll show it to you when we get to Atlanta. No. But my man was like, "Yo, you almost 50." He was like, "Man, you in good shape," and was like, "Yo, we're gonna do some things to turn you into a machine." But just the access to the stuff we have, the people we have. But yeah, Sean got me on the health thing, but Rob got me on a legitimate financial. A legitimate financial struggle. So it's just been a blessing, man. It's been a blessing.
Yep, and I think that's the beauty of the program, man, is like, it's not like it's CJ, E, and
Yeah,
Carl,
God
like,
is
oh, we're
good,
going to help
man.
you with
Yeah.
your finance. We're going to help you with your fitness. No, we got the people who help us with those things, teaching on the platform. So, man, shout out to all our current BU students who are in every city we go to. We see them, man, and hang out with them, and appreciate you guys. We'll see you in Atlanta. So this weekend.
Let me say, I was gonna say real quick. For anybody that's listening, I got a lot of emails. Shout out to the podcast. I said it last week. A lot of people still emailing me, and I'm geeked. But I want to tell y'all all this one thing. For real. Y'all hear us talking about it. Try it for 1 month. We ain't got to talk no more. Like, just try it for 1 month. If you don't like it, leave. Like, we ain't holding on to nobody hostage. Y'all heard E say that time and time again. Try it for 1 month, y'all. And I promise, if we not, I'm confident that you're going to be with us. Let me just say it like that. I'm confident, but you don't have to ask all them questions. Like, I'm getting a lot of questions, and I'm answering them. I ain't tripping on it, but I'm just telling y'all, try it. Just try it. And hit me back a month after.
Yeah, I'm tripping. You've been rocking with us for a grip, though. And you got a million questions, but you out spending your money on some foolishness. You ain't asked one question.
Right.
So,
come on, y'all. Seriously, try it for 1 month.
Go check it out. Come check us out in Atlanta. If you're hearing this weekend, we are in Atlanta. Saturday, we're going in. It's going to be a great day for us, 9 to 3, 9 to 4, something like that. So we're going to have a full day session, take control. Got some amazing entrepreneurs. Shout out to Chris, Maya, Jamal, Josh, E. We had some, we had some incredible sessions the other day in Miami, just trying to give that real information to help entrepreneurs and business, minded people go to that next level. So we're doing that in Atlanta this weekend. After that, we will be in Charlotte on the 25th. Carl?
Yeah, hold on. I ain't even looking at it. Give me a second.
25th, I believe, Charlotte, and then Dallas. On the 18th. Shout out to everybody who brought tickets for the cruise. The cruise is officially sold out. I think we might have oversold by 1 or 2. I mean, we good, but in terms of what we were supposed to sell, we sold the full allotment. So, man, super excited, super pumped. Thank you to all of you who bought tickets for the cruise. We'll see you in a couple weeks, man. I cannot believe it's almost here, but we'll see you in a couple weeks for the cruise. That's going to be a fun time, man. I'm excited about that. Excited about
and
doing
18th, see. 25th is Charlotte, 18th is Dallas, March 18th, yeah.
Yep, so Charlotte, if you're anywhere around the Charlotte area, come check us out on the 25th of this month. But yeah, the cruise, man, we sold that thing out, Carl. So congratulations to everybody who bought a ticket. It's going to be outstanding. I'm excited to do a couple live podcasts on the cruise ship. And so you guys will hear those. Any other announcements that I'm missing?
Nope, we're good. That's it.
All right, E, get us that nugget of the day so I can go upstairs and get cussed out because the kids is up an hour and a half before they're supposed to be because Dad down here talking loud.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, y'all, this is the word I got in my spirit today. Giants do fall. Yep, I'm going to say it again. Giants do fall. All right? And you looking at a giant in your life and you like, yo, bro, for real. It's too big. It's been in my life for too long. Let me tell you something. Giants do fall. Just left Florida doing the school district. Look, got a call on my way out from another school in Florida, right? Giants do fall. I remember I couldn't get a call. I remember they wouldn't let me in the schools to talk to these babies. Now I'm getting calls left and right. Giants do fall, y'all. And look, let me just say this. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. All right, so I need you to do me a favor. I need you to see the miracle before it happens. All right? Look, it ain't, not only is it possible, it's past possible. All right? Listen to me. It ain't even possible no more, y'all. It's past possible, right? But the first thing I need you to do is I need you to see that giant fall. Like in your mind's eye, before it happens physically, I need you to see it falling, all right? And then I need you to understand, look, when you believe, right? When you believe, you can see the impossible, all right? So it's your boy E.T. saying giants do fall, and your giant is coming down. Go get your 5 smooth rocks, and it ain't gonna take but one. You can get 5 just to be getting them. But it's only gonna take one decision this year for your giants to fall. It's only gonna take one positive thought this year for your giants to fall. It's only gonna take you once to touch and agree with somebody. Look, I couldn't even get this podcast out. Guys, it didn't work. Federal Express at the Ritz-Carlton. I went next door to the JW Marriott. Took 40 minutes. And then when I got to Atlanta, they told me like, yo, the file didn't come through. It was empty. I walked in the Grand Hyatt, listen to me, I ran into the individual that runs the business center. She like, we watch your stuff all the time. I came in, it took 30 seconds. What did we do? We touched and agreed before we even got started. We touched and agreed. And I'm telling the truth. What's your name? Michaela. Michaela, am I telling the truth?
Absolute truth. God bless it. It's the truth, y'all.
I came in, me and her touched and agreed, and boom, within 30 seconds, that joker came out. So giants do fall. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's your boy E.T. saying, look that giant in the face and tell them this is the last year you'll ever be in my life. No, this is the last month. No, I'm sorry. This is the last week. No, I'm sorry. This is the last day that you will ever be in my life. This is the last day you will torment me, my family. This is the last day. It's your boy E.T. Let's go.
All right. Appreciate that nugget of the day. E, appreciate y'all listening, man. Love you. See you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this